It's time for Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network. Tiger Talk is brought to you by these premier Tiger sponsors. Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis. Banking one story at a time. The Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute. Comprehensive cutting-edge care giving you every reason to choose Hayes Med. United Rentals. Your partner for equipment rental, sales, and service. VTI. Your John Deere dealer. With locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. VTI. Our family in partnership with your family. The Taco Shop. Order by phone or use the Taco Shop app. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. The Taco Shop. You've never had it so good. Royal Roofing. Give your home the royal treatment with Royal Roofing. And Eagle. Our community connected. Now, Tiger Talk with the voice of the Tigers, Gerard Wellbrock.
And a good morning and welcome into Tiger Talk. Gerard Wellbrock with you as we talk some Fort Hays State men's and women's basketball. Good weekend at the Coliseum. Final home weekend of the season. Hard to believe that, but the Tigers got a couple of nice wins over Emporia State on Thursday and then came back and knocked off Newman on Saturday. Down to 2 weeks left in the regular season. Only 3 games remaining. Fort Hays State on the road. Big week for both the men and women at Missouri Southern coming up on Thursday night and then Pittsburgh State on Saturday afternoon. Then a week from Thursday, Nebraska Kearney comes to town to wrap up the regular season. We'll talk all about the games this weekend, look ahead to this upcoming week, and beyond here on Tiger Talk. Again, you can join us by participating with a question. All you have to do is go to the Fort Hays State Athletics website, fhsuathletics.com. Click on the Fans tab. You get the drop-down menu. There on the very far right lower column, you'll see Tiger Talk Ask the Coach. If you use the question, a chance to win yourself a Mix 103.3 t-shirt. Also remind you that if you miss any portion of the program or may want to go back to watch other shows, you can always find the replay on the Defend the Fort podcast. Certainly encourage you to check out the Defend the Fort podcast, coaches interviews, player interviews. We've got previous games. We post all the games from the past week. Also, Tiger Talk is on there, and you can also watch the video of Tiger Talk. Find it as well on Hays Post. But the other audio content on the Defend the Fort podcast. A big thank you to the Fort Hays State Alumni Office for being the sponsor of the Defend the Fort podcast. And, of course, sync up the radio play-by-play with the MIAA Network's video feed. Whenever you're watching the MIAA Network, especially on the road, download the TuneIn app if you don't have it already on your tablet or smartphone, and look for Mix 103.3. That's where you'll listen to the game. Usually the video is a little bit ahead, so pause it right before tip-off. Let the audio catch up, and you can sync us up while watching on the MIAA Network and listening on the TuneIn app to the Tiger Sports Network and Tiger Radio Mix 103.3. Joined now by men's head coach Mark Johnson. Tigers picking up a couple of really hard-fought victories this week. They got an overtime win Saturday. That was after picking up a 6-point win on Thursday over Emporia State. I think we've talked about it a lot. You get into February, you get into mid-February like we are. Bottom line is find a way to get wins, and your team did that. They weren't easy. They weren't always pretty, but bottom line, you got 2 much-needed home wins this past week.
Yeah, we need to get on the right track again after having a tough 2 weeks. And, as you're coming down to the end of the season, trying to make the conference tournaments, you're still trying to get seeding. There's a lot of things you're still playing for, and we were able to do what we needed to do. 2 teams that are fighting to get in the conference tournament, but both capable teams, and 2 different styles of game. One game was a real grinded out kind of battle. Tough to score on both sides for both teams. And then Saturday, more of an up and down, fast tempo, fast moving game. But really needed to have wins. That was the big deal. That was the big speech all week going into the games was it doesn't matter how we do it. It just has to get done. And our guys did enough and played well enough to be able to do that.
Yeah, and you're facing 2 teams that obviously battling to get into the conference tournament, but not having the seasons they would like. Especially on Saturday with Newman. I mean, it came in kind of loose, especially them. They're probably not going to make the tournament, but everybody's got the different motivations. But you're catching teams that come in here and played played pretty well. When we talk all the time, too, Coliseum All-Americans, and it felt like that was a bit of the case here this week. Teams got excited to play here.
Yeah, teams always, they come in here to gross, obviously just the arena itself, and then we get good crowds and things like that, so they're always ready to play no matter, I just feel like sometimes they'll come in and maybe not have their energy they want or their mindset, and then they come running out for warm-ups, and it's like, oh wow, yeah, let's go today. And I think the big thing too that makes it harder, especially for like Emporia, maybe not Newman, but Emporia and some of these, you're starting to play teams a second time. I think people have I think the biggest struggle we've had is how people are guarding Dan and just taking him away, and he struggled with that a little bit, and it's really made a difference in our ability to score and things like that. So so I think as the season goes on, there's more film out there. People can see. We do the same thing. You're playing someone. Normally, we're going to watch their last two games, pretty intently to see, you might be playing different people, you might be running different things. We're not going to really go back and watch a game 10 games ago, but we do that if you're, say, a team that really scores the ball well, and again, in a certain game they struggle to score. Well, hey, let's go watch that game, see if that other team, what did they do defensively and things like that. So I think there's enough out there. People are seeing how other teams have guarded us and given us problems, and I think that's, as the season progresses, makes it a little bit more difficult too.
How do you do your scout throughout the season? Do you take a game, Coach Brown take a game, Coach Graffel, do you guys kind of all collectively do it together?
Yeah, we probably do it different than others. We don't have, like this is your scout or that scout. We all do it together. We are very basic. We don't try to get too in-depth on the, what the other team is running. After about 4 years, I felt like we were doing too much. And honestly, when you watch games at the highest level, I think you see some of that. They have the kids too much information, and you can't, you got to have a free mind. You got to be able to move. We talk personnel, obviously, certain guys, how we're going to have to guard. But if you really think about the game, there's really only two things we're going to change game to game: how we guard the post and how we guard ball screens. Ball screens, if it's the guard, we have to make an adjustment, or if it's the guy setting the ball screen, is it a dive man, is it a pick and pop guy that we might have to switch or trap early to get back. But everything else, it doesn't matter who you play. If they guard a back screen, we're going to guard it the same way. We don't do anything different on our weak side down screens and all that. So we're more into coaching effort and toughness than maybe all the other stuff. We do scout and do all that, but we keep it pretty basic. What are you going to do? What are the three things you run that might give us the most problems? And we'll go over that with our players and make sure they understand what they're doing. Late game situations, if there's anything sideline underneath, but we keep it, we don't have 25-page scouting reports. I think that players can't remember all that. And then, when action is happening fast, this isn't football where you have 30 seconds in between and you can kind of get what the tendencies and you can read things. Our guys can't come down and expect them to remember, oh, they're running this play now, I'm supposed to do this. Oh, you can't catch that in live action as a player. Things move too fast in basketball. So we try to be more practice every day, guarding concepts, principles, whatever that you want to say that. And then so we're ready for anything you do, and we're more of a personnel, and then how we're going to, like I said, tweak post coverage and ball screen coverage.
Both games this weekend, you fell behind in the first half, 8-point deficit against Emporia, 15 against Newman. But both of those games, you made a run before halftime to get you back in the game. That was probably a key to being able to pull out those wins.
Yeah, I think it seems like we've talked about that a lot this year after the game. We always talk about, the first 5 minutes of each half, and I think there is a lot of truth to the first 5 minutes of the second half, mm-hmm. But sometimes the most important stretch of a game is the last 5 minutes of the first half. You either maintain a lead, increase your lead, or you get yourself back into the game, and we were able to do that both games to get it down. I think actually both were we were down 2 points at halftime, mm-hmm. And if you, especially against Newman, if you come out down 14 at halftime, it makes it a lot harder to come back.
No doubt about that. Your guys got it done and got out with the win. Good weekend for Javari Martino. He had 14 points for you in the Emporia game, then Legend scoring, I think, 23 on Saturday. And you kind of alluded to the fact that, he had rolled his ankle, I think, the Washburn game, and maybe you really couldn't tell until you could tell, and you see him play this weekend. He's kind of got that step back, and you saw it especially on the defensive end to go along with the scoring. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, he got, like I said, he tweaked that during Washburn, and in practice you can definitely tell. Like I said, sometimes in games, kids, they take a little ibuprofen and all that, get their adrenaline going, and you don't see them. They kind of move a little better, but he wasn't as quick. Javari is only 6 foot, but if you look at him, he's a very long-arm person, and then he's athletic on top of it, so he can get in the paint, pull up, shoot over taller individuals and things like that. So it's nice to see him getting back to healthy and 100% because we need as much scoring from him as we can get. He had a really good, like I said, I think he had 23 against Newman. Without him, we have no chance to come back and win that game, and he might have been close to one of our leading scorers against Emporia also.
And, yeah, he had 14. I think it was Dan had 15. He had 14 in that one. Mohamed Kante continues to be a little bit more aggressive, especially in the first half of games. It seems like you fall behind, helps you get back in it, or helps you kind of hang around there. It's been good to see because I know you've said it many times. You've been wanting him to be more aggressive, and he's finally starting to get there.
Yeah, he's capable. He's probably can get around his man and make some stuff happen as good as anybody we have on our team. And like I said, we need him to be more offensive because at times we struggle. And it's just good to see him. He's just not hesitating. At times he's still, probably a little bit too much that we'd like, but I mean, he can really help us a lot, and it's just a mindset. He's just kind of a, his is a very laid-back, chilled person in general in everything he does, and it's nice to see him gain some confidence, and especially he's coming down the end of his career, and he's a good player. He's a very capable player, and it's nice to see him. I think he's been in double figures close to about 4 or 5 games in a row, and we need as much as that from him as we can.
Well, Tigers get a nice win over Emporia. They knock off Newman in overtime. We'll talk more about that when we come back, and, of course, preview Southern and Pitt State on the road. Big week for the Tigers away from the Coliseum. Tiger Talk brought to you by United Rentals of Hayes, your partner for equipment rental sales and service. Whether it's big or small, find it all at United Rentals in Hayes. We'll take a time out. More to come on Tiger Talk here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
We had a guy that came into the bank. His dream was to own a restaurant. He was turned down from multiple banks, and upon coming in here, having a prior knowledge of who he was, we reviewed his business plan, we talked to him, and we felt strongly that we wanted to join him in this adventure. Ever since we joined with him, he has been very, very successful. It's just really nice to be able to be a part of somebody's dreams. Golden Belt Bank, one story at a time.
Here's Hambeke. Kicks it in the corner. A three from Martino, and he knocked it in. Second three of the game for Javari. And for the first time tonight, Fort Hays State has the lead, 25-24, on just their second main three-pointer. So the action from Thursday night, that gave Fort Hays State the lead. They would lead by as many as 11 and knock off Emporia State by 6. And then Saturday took on the last-place Newman Jets, who did not look like the last-place team. They played really, really well, and we talk about it a lot. You let a team get a few shots to go down and start feeling confident. And they've got some capable players, obviously, and you get what you had. They did not look like a last-place team. That was a fun and exciting game. I'm sure maybe not so much for you, but you got out of there with an overtime win.
They were fantastic. I mean, again, watching the film, their 6 threes they made in the first half, we couldn't have guarded it much better. Their backup point guard drove in twice and hit 2 unbelievable shots inside the paint. I mean, it was, honestly, you walk away from that game and our guys showed a lot of resiliency to win the game because Newman was fantastic. I mean, I think, I was disappointed in our defense during the game, obviously, but when you watch that film, I think it really had more to do with them than it did us. It was one of their special nights. I mean, they kind of alluded to that. Like, you caught us on our best game of the year, and guys that I think number 31, again, this is the end of the year. It's not like it's the beginning of the year, halfway season. But guys that haven't made three-pointers, like I said, number 31 has made 5 all year. He made 4 against us, and pretty much 3 of the 4 we were hanging all over him with, because you get any closer, you're going to foul. Another guy, number 7, I think he has made 1 3 all year, and he made 2 in the first half. They were impressive give them credit. Luckily for us, the thing that has given them struggles all year was the defensive end, and I think you kind of saw that. We were able to get shots pretty quick, We've said that all the time. People always, that was a fast up-tempo game. Well, we were allowed to get good. We were allowed to take quality shots early. A lot of times it takes us a little bit longer. I think for us on the defensive end, we usually play good enough defense that they can't get a shot off in 2 or 3 passes, so the pace of play is a little slower. But Newman, they were able to get shots off and score on us, and then we were able to come back and get fairly quick, decent looks. So it was a kind of a up and down. Like, we don't really choose pace of play. People think we do. We really don't. I'm going to make our guys play hard, and we're going to take good shots. But if it's fast, it's fast. If it's slow, it's slow. It's more about just how the game develops. And defensively, we couldn't stop them, and luckily they couldn't stop us very much.
And you talk about Javari's defense. Jacob Joe was their top three-point shooter. He goes 1 for 3 from the game, and you said it after the game. If you watched it, you would not have known that. He was the point of emphasis, especially on the perimeter, and he was a non-factor in that, and Javari gets a lot of the credit for that.
Yeah, number 1's their main guy that we were really worried about, and the one he hit was a really hard shot. Javari not only scored 23, he was great defensively. That was the main focus as far as hurting us from 3. We knew the Shaw kid 31's their leading scorer, but it's more and I think you saw that, how physical he is driving to the rim. I think the thing he added to his game that made him special the other night was able to shoot threes. If he could consistently, with his physicality and athleticism, getting to the rim, hit those kind of perimeter shots, he's a heck of a player. And then the Samaholder and the McClure kid are a nice mixture of one can shoot the 3, the other one's a really good driver and active. So they have some pieces. To our guys' credit, I think on the outside looking in from a perspective, you see the record, their record, our record, and you assume, Fort Hays was a no-show, and that just was not the case at all. Newman was very capable. Most other leagues, they wouldn't have that kind of record, but they were played fantastic, and like I said, to our credit, we found a way to pull it off.
Javari scored 23 and did it with only 1 3-pointer. He had 10 made baskets, went 10 of 16, and his ability to move and then get that mid-range, but to stop on a dime, elevate under control, and hit that mid-range jumper is quite phenomenal. I don't remember another player who could do it quite like he does it here for quite a while.
Yeah, I'd say the 2 guys that are the Elijah Nanabu and Javari are similar games. Javari probably shoots the 3 a little better. Elijah was a little bigger and more physical, but both just have a great ability to shoot the mid-range, which is kind of a lost art. Mm-hmm. We're not really into analytics. I know a lot of people get involved in that, and it's like, hey, 3-pointers, layups, 3-pointers, layups. And obviously if we could get layups, we'd take it. It's not that easy. But I still think the really good players can score in mid-range. That's what separates them from the other people, is they can still find, because you can at times obviously take away layups. We're going to get to help and do all those things. It's hard to get wide open 3s at our level. So I still think the guys that can score, they say all 3 levels, at the rim, perimeter, mid-range, are still the best players. And Javari has always, from day one he's been here, he just has that ability to really have like I said, he's long, he's athletic, and then just can really hit those mid-range shots at a high level. Him and Elijah are really good. Elijah was really good at it too.
Double digits, or double for Dan, 16 and 10. Had some big rebounds. I know he's disappointed he missed those free throws late for you, and certainly not his best free throw shooting game for your leading free throw shooter, but obviously still did enough stuff and does some good things. And then hit some in the overtime. I think he hit your final 6 in the overtime to kind of put it away.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, he was pretty down when he missed that, and you just got to get your head up and go play. I mean, we're an unusual team. We're one of the few teams in America that late in the game to foul, we want to give it to our big guy. I mean, so, but normally he's come through and shot free throws at a pretty high level and all that. He's being guarded. Some of his numbers late in the games, he's been the one. How he scored lately against him is getting fouled and making his free throws late because teams are doing a good job on it, making it difficult every time he catches it. And I thought Kyle had a good the Newman game, especially in overtime. Kyle hit some. He was 4 of 9, I think, from 3. It's nice to see his three-pointers start going in, but he had 2 just really important ones that really helped us win the game.
Yeah, and his brother was at the game, and so he played well in Kansas City last year with his older brother in attendance. Maybe we need to find a way to get him to more games because he seems to shoot it well when his older brother's in the building.
Yeah, he's in the G League playing in the Chicago out of Windy City, maybe is their name of their team, but they are obviously on All-Star break. Just like the NBA. So, yeah, it was good for him to be able to come back and probably doesn't get to see a lot of games because he has his own games going on.
Yep, that was fun, and Kyle played well with 4 of 9 from 3, finished with 18 points. Tigers put 4 in double figures and get the 91-83 overtime win over Newman. 17 wins on the year, and big road swing coming up this week. It's going to determine a lot for Fort Hays State at Missouri Southern on Thursday, and then Saturday afternoon in Pittsburgh to take on the Gorillas. Tiger Talk presented by Golden Belt Bank. Banking one story at a time. Golden Belt Bank of Hays and Ellis. You can visit them at goldenbeltbank.com. We'll take a break. We'll preview the week ahead for the Tigers after this break on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
At BTI, we pride ourselves on providing quality John Deere equipment and customer support. Since 1944, BTI has been serving farmers and commercial operators with mowers, tractors, and compact construction equipment at an affordable price. As a leader in the ag industry, BTI offers complete technology solutions so our farmers can help keep America running. Experience the BTI difference for yourself.
Call BTI.
Our family in partnership with your family.
77-75 Jets. Tigers have it. 3:35 to go in overtime. Hammocky, right wing Grill. He'll launch a 3. It's good! Kyle Grill with 15, his third 3 of the day. And Fort Hays State is back on top, 78-77.
That was some of the action from the overtime. That was one of those 2 big threes from Kyle. They get back-to-back threes and kind of got Fort Hays State over the hump, and they pull away with the 8-point overtime win over Newman, their 17th victory of the year, and embark on a really big road trip here starting on Thursday. Tiger Talk brought to you by The Taco Shop. Order by phone, or you can use the Taco Shop app. Dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. The Taco Shop. You've never had it so good. Tigers at Southern Thursday, at Pitt State Saturday, and obviously big road swing. You start looking, 3 games left on the slate here for the regular season. Took a big step into conference tournament with the 2 wins at home, but now you try to get to that top 6 so you can avoid playing in that opening round, and there'll be a lot determined this week by how your team does at Southern and Pittsburgh State.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big week. We're battling these 2 teams right here, like you said, to be in the top 6, and it's just unusual the way the MIAA did our schedule. I mean, we played our side twice, and now we're finally playing the South. So these South teams are getting, they still got to play, Pitt and Southern the following week. They have Washburn at Central. So, I mean, they have the tough schedule. I think our side right now is like 20-11 or something.
I was going to look that up yesterday and didn't.
And there's still 18 more games to go. So I think you're going to see more of that separating. So some of these teams we're battling, we've gone through some of those teams, and they're just facing them. So if we can win some games, we can catch up in a hurry because of who they're playing and things like that. So big week for us. Southern was really playing well. I mean, one of the hottest teams in the league, but this is what happens in the MIAA. I mean, you got all the answers and everything's going well, and then this week they get beat in close games to Western and Northwest, and so things can turn in a hurry. So we need to be playing at our best if we're going to go down there and win.
I think Southern's second in the conference in scoring. That hasn't been their problem this year. They can put some points up.
Yeah, no, they're always talented. They play an up down game, high tempo, and got some guys that they're they're a good combination of they're very athletic and they shoot it very well. And those guys are hard to guard at times like that. So both teams are really offensive oriented, and we have to play. Like I said, we're going to take care of the basketball. They'll kind of run some three-quarter press, up-tempo games, going to slow them down. And then, we continually have to be able to make some threes. We just put our free throws and our three-point shooting at times just put so much pressure on us. We got to, go down there. And I think, we go on the road at Western and Northwest, and we were able to do those things, and we won. So if we can go down there and make a few shots, it doesn't have to be a high percentage, but enough. And then we have to shoot our free throws better if you expect to win. It's hard to score, and you can't be going 10 of 18, 11, 12 of 20, and all that. I mean, believe me, our guys are trying, but that's just hard to go on the road because these games are going to be close. You're not going to go down there and win by 20 in our league very often. So every point you can get is a big deal.
I'm assuming in Joplin we're still in the old gym. I've tried to get an answer, and no one responds, but I'm assuming we are.
Yeah, I would assume that's what they've done all year, and that gym. So that's where I played. When we played at
that
Southern.
Place is old.
Yes. That's where when I was playing in the MIAA, we played at that location, and honestly, it's probably. For them, it's smaller and much louder. Their new arena is a very nice arena, but it's more pushed. The bleachers go back instead of up. I think for them, home advantage is probably playing in this gym probably gives them a little bit probably home edge than their place they normally play in. I'm sure they'd rather be in their normal place just because of the aesthetics and everything, but it'll be a tough place to play.
And then Pittsburg State, you kind of touched on it, another offensive-minded team. I think they're third-best three-point shooting team. They hit a lot of threes, and, we've seen a lot of what that can do for a team, but you'll have to be locked in on that one. And, again, always a tough place to play, and they'll be ready for the Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, the Rogers kid can really shoot it high, scoring at a high level, can really shoot it. The English kid is an unusual point guard in the fact he's not overly athletic, but he's really big. He's built like a linebacker, and then he's extremely skilled. So, we're going to have to run them off the line and find a way to, slow them down also, but a big week for us.
All right, sounds good. Looking forward to it. And Joplin Thursday, Pittsburg State on Saturday afternoon. Coach, always appreciate the time. Have a good week of practice, and we'll see you down in Joplin.
All right, thanks, Chart.
All right, Tigers and the Lions Thursday night, 5:30 for the women, 7:30 for the men. Hey, you can look your best on Tiger Game Day with official Nike gear from BSN Sports and the Sideline Store. Go to FHSUathletics.com. Click on Shop. You'll find hundreds of products and designs, and the cool thing is that they're all customizable. FHSUathletics.com. Click on Shop and open up the Tiger Team store. We've got women's coach Talia Cars after the break here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
The Taco Shop. Looking for unique flavor at low prices? Look no further than Taco Shop in Hayes. We have original, made-from-scratch Mexican food, sure to satisfy an empty stomach. Take a bite out of these delicious deals. Grab a beef or cheese enchilada, bite into a beef and bean burrito, or chow down on a Sancho. Save time with our free Taco Shop app. Have delicious fresh taste in just a few taps. Dine in, get it to go, or have it delivered. Taco Shop. You've never had it so good.
Come on down to the taco shop. You never had it. You never had it so good. To the taco shop.
Head of the circle, into Weeder, knocked away. Telexa somehow catches, dribbles out of the lane. Now shoots a three, and hit it!
That was some of the action from Thursday. That was a big play in that game, and the comeback over, I say comeback, it was kind of a nip-and-tuck game all night with Emporia State, but that was a key stretch there. And Telexa had a nice night. The Tigers had a nice win. They get a couple of home victories and now get set to hit the road again this week at Southern and Pittsburg State. Tiger Talk brought to you by the Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute, offering the most comprehensive orthopedic care in Western Kansas. Why travel hours when the best in the region is right here at Hayes Med? Joined by women's coach Talia Cars. Couple of nice wins for your team this week. Hard-fought win over Emporia like we expected. It was a hard-fought game in Emporia. It was the same thing at the Coliseum. And then, obviously, had a little bit of fun with Newman. Took care of business. Had a huge second half. So, again, as we talked with Coach Johnson, the bottom line is finding a way to win this time of the year, and your team did that.
Yep. Nope. That's we go in every day trying to get better. But, yeah, it comes down to we're in control of what we want to get done, and we just got to keep putting wins in the win column. Didn't
shoot it as well on Thursday, and again, that's one of those situations that keeps Emporia State in the game. But they're a very capable team. I think if anybody was at that game, they saw that they've got some good players. If you hit your shots, you probably win by a little bit more comfortable margin, and it doesn't give everybody the gray hair, But that happens sometimes, and you got to find a way. You're not always going to shoot it like you did on Saturday. And to your team's credit, by and large, they've been able to do that outside of the Washburn game when they haven't shot it as well.
Yeah, no, that's why we focus on what we can do defensively, because I think you can kind of always control what's going on there, or at least work really hard to make them have to make a tough shot with a hand in their face. And I thought we did a really good job of that, and we watched film of that on Friday. Even we don't always do that, but I just thought they contested shots so well on Thursday and played with some urgency, and that's kind of been our word last week, was urgency, going after every loose ball and like it's the game winner. And I thought we did that really well defensively, and you can kind of always hang your hat on that, and then the other end, shots aren't always going to fall, and we saw that on Thursday.
You bring up the word urgency. That's interesting because, your team's having a great year, but you get into that stretch in January, early February. It's a long season. It's a grind, especially for some of the freshmen and newcomers. And I'm not saying that your team wasn't locked in and ready to play, but it felt different this weekend. And then I'm guessing there's some human nature, and that's natural, but it did feel like your team was playing with more of a sense of urgency.
Yeah, I think we know that we just gotta get better. And as good as we've played all year, there's still room to grow, and they're not satisfied with where we're at, and they're hungry, and they're working at it every day, and just having a lot of fun playing together, which is really fun to see. And I think you saw a big example of that on Saturday.
Yeah, no doubt about that. You go back to that Emporia game, you look at the first meeting, it was tight until the fourth quarter. You had the big fourth quarter, and you didn't really get a chance to blow them out like you did in that one, but you did enough in that second half. It's good to be in those type of games. You've had a lot where you've won comfortably, but because you're going to face a lot of close games from here on out, and if you want to get to where you want to get to, there's going to be some nail biters. To be in that situation, have to come through, have to perform, is probably good for this team.
Yeah, no, I think it's good, and when you come out on top.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I knew we needed to get stops on the defensive end and make them take tough shots and make sure we give them one chance, not give up any offensive boards. And then on the other end of the floor, I thought we executed really well late, and got good shots and were able to knock some down late.
Big game again from Telexa, 31 points, 12 rebounds, a couple of double-doubles on the weekend. She was really good. She shot the three ball well all weekend. But I thought Michaela Pilley gave you a big boost, especially in the second half. You saw a lot of zone against Emporia State, and she found the creases in that 1-3-1, places you can score, and she hit those shots, and she had a big three down the stretch as well. But she's played well both times against them, but she was really crucial in that win.
Yeah, no, she definitely made some big shots, and we moved the ball where we needed to get it to, and kind of got away from our offense, and they were just kind of making plays. And then we also got some second chance points out of that zone, and that was huge, where we could get some rebounds and get it back out and try to get another good shot.
Yeah, 13 offensive rebounds. Had to be pleased with that. You're the number one defensive rebounding team in the MIAA, but you're the worst offensive rebounding team. Now, some of that, you shoot the ball well,
right,
so there's less to be had.
Yep.
However, I know that's an area you emphasize. You told us that after the game, but 13 offensive rebounds, 14 second chance points. That was a key stat in that game, and I'm guessing that's one of those areas you can look to improve on here down the stretch.
Yep, no, definitely. That was something we talked about Friday, specifically is after that game. Obviously, we did it well that game, but we haven't been, and so making sure we're really locked in. So then that was kind of an emphasis going into Newman, and then we shot the ball so well, especially the second half. I think we had 7 at half, where we had 7 offensive boards, but we were trying to get to 15. And we just didn't give ourselves a chance even to get that many in the second half.
I don't think you missed 15 shots in the second half to get it. Avery Lowe's one. Telexa had 4 of her 12 rebounds on the offensive end. Avery, I think she's averaging like 6.5 rebounds per game here the last 3-4 games, and half of hers on Thursday were on the offensive end. She's really given you a lift in that category.
Yeah. The thing you see with Avery is they're doubling off of her, and so it's a great opportunity for her to go get a board, because it's hard to go double team Telexa and then still box out Avery. 3. And so she's got to continue to do that and take advantage of that, because when we've played different teams and tried to do that as well, we knew we had to go find that person that we just helped off of to get them boxed out, because they are the ones that are cleaning up those rebounds. And so I'm really proud of her for taking advantage of that and going after them.
And she did a really nice job and really all weekend in doing that. Got to talk about the triple-double. Brooke's been close so many times. Finally gets there. 11 points, 10 boards, 11 assists. And then 6 steals. I mean, there were still about 4 minutes left when she got the triple. Could she get a quadruple? Couldn't quite get enough steals to get it done, but a special night for her. Glad she finally got the triple-double, because she'd been close several times throughout her career and finally got it done.
Yeah, no, really fun to see her be able to do that. And she's a kid that all year has really been playing with urgency. I think you see her on both sides of the ball. When we need something to happen, she makes it happen, whether it's a steal or whether it's a great pass. She's playing with just another level of confidence, but also I think urgency is a really good word to describe how she's playing.
Yeah, and she only hit 1 3, didn't shoot the 3 ball well on Thursday, but that one was big. I think it was an answer after they had hit one, either tied or take the lead, and she came right back and kind of got you back in front and control it. Yeah, no, it's fun to watch her play with confidence and be willing to take those big shots when we need it, when we need to shift, and when she can knock them down, it's a big boost. And you talk about her doing what she needs to do. She needed to score a little more on Thursday. She gets the triple-double, gets into double figures with the 11. Didn't need to on Saturday. She only scored 2 points. She just has the knack of knowing what this team needs at that particular game, at that particular time. And when it's your point guard who can do that she makes life for you a little bit easier. It does. No, she knows she can get to the basket, I think, a lot of the time, and she's always willing to go and do it if she needs to, but she also does a good job of just running the offense and seeing who else is going to get a shot, and if they're shooting and getting it, then great, and if they're not, she's going to try to make something happen for herself. Well, it was a nice win on Thursday night. 69-56 ends up being the final score as the Tigers kind of pull away methodically in the second half to get there at the time 22nd win of the year. They get win number 23 on Saturday. It was a fun game for everybody involved. We'll review that one, and we're going to preview another big week coming up this week on the road at Southern, at Pittsburg State. 2 of the bigger games of the season coming up for the Fort Hays State women. Tiger Talk presented by Royal Roofing, the #1 local roofing company. Roofing, guttering, siding, and windows. Call today and get your free estimate and give your home the Royal treatment with Royal Roofing. We'll take a break. More Tiger Talk next on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
Here's a 3 from Pilley, and she buries it from the right wing. Michaela Pilley with a dozen. It's a new career high, and Fort Hays State has their biggest lead. They're up by 10. Now a steal by Levy, who lays it in. Timeout, Emporia State. Pilley a 3, Levy a steal and layup, and the Tigers are up a dozen. They're on an 11-0 run with 3:05 to go in the game.
Yeah, big stretch on Thursday to get by those pesky Emporia State Hornets. Tigers get the win and then have a little bit of fun on Senior Day to knock off the Newman Jets 99-57. Fairly close game. They were still in it at halftime, and then obviously a special second half for the Tigers, who go 12 of 14 from the floor in the third quarter, 8 of 13 in that fourth quarter. We thought you were going to have another perfect quarter. Shadron game didn't miss a shot in the second quarter, and then I think you made your first 11 or so in that third quarter, but just one of those games. The ball was going in, everything just kind of went your way, and it was a lot of fun on Senior Day for everybody.
It definitely was. It's fun to sit over there and just watch them pass the ball around and people step up and take confident shots. It's a lot of fun to coach, and we executed well, and we different things that we maybe haven't done as well off the ball as far as a screen or something, like be ready to catch and shoot off of that, and we did those things on Saturday, and were able to knock down the shots off of it too.
Obviously, another big game for Telexa. She had 33 points, 5 threes to tie her career high, but double-double for Olivia Mortensen. And we've talked about her foot and her heel really bothering her this year, but 25 points, 10 boards, really set the tone of the opening tip. It looked like Newman was going to win it. She snuck in, stole it, got a layup, kind of set the tone for the day and set the tone for her. She was as good as she's been maybe all season on Saturday.
Yeah, she played really, really well and was super aggressive and was playing confident, and really fun to see that, especially after just being in a lot of pain and working through a lot of different things. It's fun to see her just go out there and get something done.
Was it more of a mind frame for her with the foot? Maybe it was feeling better, but I know Dustin had a chance to talk to her afterwards. It almost just feels like, hey, it hurts, deal with it, and let's go play ball.
Yeah, no, that is part of it. I think Thursday she was still trying to figure out how much it hurt, and because she got a cortisone shot on Monday, and so just feeling that, and didn't get going like she thought. And then I think that layup at the beginning was huge for her, just to see the ball go in the hoop, and then she just stepped into every shot confidently.
And I think that's it. I mean, she gets to the rim. She doesn't always, and you mentioned confidence. I think it looks like confidence, maybe expecting some defense or a block. She wasn't on Saturday. She went strong, and she made those shots, and then when she does that, it's when she gets up to 20, in this case, 25 points.
Yeah, no, she has a knack to get the ball in the hoop, and she's tough to guard, and can score at all 3 levels, and so that makes it even that much harder. And then she's left-handed, and so all those things just make her a very much offensive threat on that side of the ball. And then she's a difference maker on the defensive end too, where she can stop the ball, and we don't have necessarily anybody that does it as well as her right now. And so when she's not in the game doing that, it allows them to kind of get in the flow of the offense a little bit better. And having that big of a body on the point guard, I think really is hard on the other team.
It was fun to get Sarah in the starting lineup for her. She's one of those players, doesn't play a lot, but obviously everybody's got a role in this team, and she helps keep everybody and get them better. And it was good to see her go out there, have some success, and play everybody and get everybody some significant minutes, maybe rest some of your regulars down the stretch. It's always a luxury when you can do that. So it was one of those fun days. Everybody got in the act and was able to walk away with there feeling good and having fun.
Yeah, no, I think it says a lot about our team, and knowing that I could start her on Saturday and not be worried about how we were going to start. I knew that she was going to do a great job, and changed how Telexa, because she went to the 4 spot to start the game, and that's really the only change that happened. And she's tough and she's physical, and when she gets down the post, she's going to make something good happen. And it was fun to be able to get her to be able to do that. And Sarah's just a special kid in the fact that she's seeing a freshman play in front of her really right now, and she's the first one to tell the freshman good job. And she's just a really great teammate, and she's somebody that comes in to practice every day with a lot of energy, very positive, and then she's just going to work her butt off, and is just really physical and is making everybody better.
Well, it was a nice game for all of them, and you talked about the rebound. You did a really good job of rebounding again. Only 8 offensive rebounds, but as we said, you didn't. What did you miss second half? You only missed 7 shots in the second half. So hard to get a lot of offensive rebounds, but you're not missing very many. That's a good problem to have. But again, a game you rebounded the ball well, and you didn't give a team like that a lot of extra opportunity, because you see the final score, but if you're at the game, I mean, especially that first half, Lofkina's really good. She came to play. They've got some pieces. They've got some experienced pieces back. They just haven't been able to put it all together, but you saw a little bit in the first half. They're capable. You didn't let them get on track, because you let them, it could be a long day.
Yeah, no, inside, she's tough. She's physical, and she got a lot of offensive boards in the first half, just because she was going up strong and it was coming back to her, and it's hard to box her out and defend her at the same time. And so that's going to happen. And then you get the wrong person shooting the ball really well. They have a lot of kids that can score it from the perimeter, and they shoot it really well. A lot of them shoot the 3, and so we wanted to make sure we were making them put it on the floor. In the first half, we didn't do it super well. Second half, I thought we did a better job.
We saw Carlson. She was a great high school shooter, and you saw that. She kind of got on the rhythm there when the game was out of hand, but still, and she barely moved the net on some of those.
Yeah, no, they're all, if they don't have to dribble, they're all really, really good shooters. And so that was kind of the goal, is at least make them put it on the floor, because their percentage goes down a little bit. And besides her, I thought we did a really good job on them.
You touched on the defense. I'm sure that's an area, too, that can always improve on, always get better. But it feels like that has maybe taken another step in the direction you're going to want here down the stretch.
Yeah, I think just continuing to play together, and I think our communication's getting a little bit better too. Of if we need to do something last minute that we didn't expect to do, we can, and we're both on the same page instead of both guarding the same person. We're switching when we need to, and I think I've had a pretty good game plan going into everything, and they've really understood what we wanted to do and made sure they knew what we wanted to do, where a couple weeks ago we maybe didn't do that as well. I think we're really taking the scouting report to heart and making sure we're trying to guard them that way the best we can. And like I tell them that if it's a bad scouting report, that's on me. Just do what we think we need to do, and if that's not the right thing, then that's on the staff. And so I think they're really taking that to heart, and we're seeing that, and it's showing up.
Good to see Ellie hit some threes. She had been shooting them better since she's coming off the injury, but did you have any night shifts this week? Maybe that was the reason she knocked a few more threes in.
She had another one on Sunday.
Okay.
So, yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe she needs to make sure she has one of those every week from now on. But, yeah, to see her do that on senior night was fun too.
Yeah, it was nice to honor them, and obviously with Brooke and Ellie, they've been a part of some really big games, and then Sarah getting the start as well. Just all the seniors that you honor before the contest. It was been through a lot of games, and hopefully a lot more still to come for those guys. But they've been such an integral part. I mean, you look at this run you guys have been on. It just there's the next person, the next player comes through the program, and they've just picked up the torch where those before them have left it off.
They really have. I can't say enough about their leadership this year and the way they've just embraced a bunch of new people, because we had half of our roster was new this year, and they really embraced each of them as they were and welcomed them in and figured out how to help them where they could. And it says a lot about those three of the year that we're having, not only on the court but off the court. Just really good teammates, and just really cool to see how humble they are, and then letting freshmen come in and playing a lot of minutes, and that's a big deal. And the three of them have just really done an incredible job of being everybody's biggest cheerleader.
But it was a fun game on Saturday. The Tigers get 99. Need to ask you, man, that's the biggest groan I've ever heard in the crowd in a 99-57 win when you told them to back it out, which was fun. It's a fun problem to have, but I thought that was a funny part down the stretch, and the crowd won at 100. Did you know you were that close?
I knew we had a 99, but I didn't know that's what they were yelling about at first. And Taylor's like, they want you to shoot at the shot, and I was like, oh, well, we're not gonna do that. That's
right.
Not us. That's not who we are. And Callie was like, did you want me to shoot it? And I said, no. I said, you were the best person to have the ball in your hands, because I knew you weren't going to. Even though the whole gym was yelling at you, she felt awful, and I was like, nope. It's on me. You blame it on me. I didn't want you to shoot it, and you can tell everybody that it was my decision. And I don't know. I don't think you do that. And we were ahead by as much as we were, and we haven't done that all year, where we're taking a shot when we didn't need to. And I think that says a lot about Callie too as a person. Is she wasn't going to go down there even though she was wide open. She could have went down there and shot a 15-footer, and she knew that that's not what I wanted.
Well, years past, they used to, if you got 100, there was like pizza or something for everybody. If that was on the line, that's a whole different story.
Yep.
But no one was going to walk away with anything for getting 100. So certainly understand that. But that was kind of fun. But yeah, I don't think anybody minded afterwards. That it was a win, and that's what everybody cared about. Hard to believe only one more home game left for the Tigers. Big road trip coming up. Missouri Southern, Pittsburgh State, starting on Thursday in Joplin. We're going to preview that when we come back. Reminder that Tiger Talk is brought to you today by BTI, your full-service John Deere dealer. Locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. BTI, our family, in partnership with your family. Our final segment with Coach Talia Cars coming up next here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by PwC from Eagle.
My name. Tired of equipment that's seen better days? Or maybe you have a project that requires a bigger machine than you own. This is Blake from United Rentals in Hayes, and we have you covered. Whether you're a contractor, a farmer, or working on your own project, we've got the machinery you need. Big or small, and everything in between, you can rent it for a day, a week, or a month. And if you're looking to own, we have a huge inventory of reliable used equipment for sale. Plus, we can service and repair the equipment you already own. Stop by United Rentals on South Vine in Hayes. We're your one-stop shop for rentals, used equipment sales, and repairs.
Tigers rebound. Here's Levy into the front court. Hands it to Weeder. Long 28-footer. Buried it. And that's going to be the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, it was a good way to end that first quarter for the Fort Hays State women. A deep three from Telexa. She would hit 5. That tied her career high. Tigers got the big win. Tied, well, technically a half-game lead over Central Missouri for first place in the MIAA, and we'll try to at least hold on to that share this week, but it won't be easy. Tigers hitting the road in Joplin to face Missouri Southern on Thursday, and then Saturday they will be in Pittsburgh to take on the Gorillas, who they beat during the regular season earlier in December, but it was a non-conference game, so this one will count in the conference standings. A couple of teams that kind of stubbed their toe a little bit at home this weekend, but very capable teams. They're right there at the top of the league. They've shown that all year, and Southern in some regards might be the biggest surprise. I mean, I think people thought they'd be good, but maybe not as good as they have been this year, and they're going to be excited to play you guys on Thursday night.
Yeah, no, they're always a tough physical team. Defensively, they like to get up in you. They like to be bumping you the whole game. They're going to make every shot that you take really, really difficult, trying to get you off balance. And they do. Defensively, they're good. They really have a good plan, but they're not afraid to be physical with you. And so we got to be ready to be really strong and go into them when they're guarding us like that. And then on the other end of the floor, they have a lot of kids that can score. They have post players that can score on the inside. They have really good guards on the outside. Their point guard's really talented. So just a really balanced team. Yeah, in fact, this will be the top 3 offensive teams as far as points per game. Fort Hays State, Pitt State, and Southern going at it here this weekend. And it's interesting you talk about their physicality and the way they play defense. It is amazing. They were like that when you played. I mean, there's been a handful of coaches since Fort Hays State joined the MIAA at Missouri Southern, yet they've all adopted pretty much the same philosophy, and they kind of play the way they played forever. Yeah, no, they're always really, really tough and physical. They're not afraid to bump you, and they're not afraid to go into you a little bit. And so we definitely got to be ready to match that physicality. And it's interesting. They're the number 1 offensive rebounding team in the conference. You're the number 1 defensive rebounding team. You're trying to improve on that, but rebounding could be very well the deciding factor on Thursday. Yeah, definitely. Making sure we make them take tough shots, and we're getting the wrong people to take the shots, hopefully, and yeah, we got to make sure we're boxing them out too, because they're physical, and their inside game's really good. They have a 4-5 man that's similar athleticism as Telexa, and she has a knack to find some rebounds and be able to jump over you. It feels like you've done a pretty good job here, especially as of late, of getting the people you want to take the shots you want them to take, and really defending the maybe the better scorers from the other teams. Yeah, I think we're doing a good job of really being aware of them and making sure that they're taking the harder shot, and maybe taking the shot that they don't necessarily want to take, and hopefully forcing them to miss most often, and we've been doing a really good job of that. And then Pitt State on Saturday, they're going to be ready for you after what happened in Hays in the non-conference game, and obviously you've had some pretty big meetings with the Gorillas here the last handful of years. It should be a fun one Saturday. Yeah, interesting that we've played already in a non-conference setting, and kind of know what each other can do and what we're capable of, but they're also a really good shooting team, tough to defend because they have a lot of different scorers that can do a lot of different things, and so got to be really, really locked in this week, and hopefully can come away with 2 wins. All right, getting exciting down to the stretch run here the basketball season. Just 3 games left, these 2 on the road, and the next Thursday at home, or a week from Thursday at home against Nebraska Kearney. Coach, as always, appreciate it. Have a good week of practice. We'll see you down in Joplin on Thursday night. Thanks, Sharon. That's Talia Cars, coach of the Fort Hays State women. Again, 5:30, 7:30 Thursday from Joplin, and then on Saturday they'll be at John Lance Arena to take on Pittsburgh State. That'll be a 1:30 and 3:30 tip. The women's game is the MIAA Network's TV game of the week in Kansas City. Of course, we'll have them all right here on Tiger Radio Mix 103.3 Thursday night and Saturday. That's going to wrap up the program. Certainly appreciate you joining us here this morning. We'll talk to you again next Monday right here on Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network. So long, everyone.